This is one thing you should be focusing on, and that's what we're going to cover in today's video. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving away a free physical copy of my book, Walk in the Spirit, so make sure you stay to the end. Let's get into it. Now, Jesus said something really interesting in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 20, and I basically kind of done a very terrible illustration here, but I hope you bear with me because it will give you really insightful lessons about what you should be focusing on every single day. Now, these two things here are terrible attempts at drawing treasure chests, but it's actually interesting when I look at this. This one's got the whole 3D effect, and it kind of plays into actually the point I'm actually trying to make in today's video. It's actually quite interesting as I think about it. So what Jesus was basically trying to portray is there's literally two kind of ways to go, and they basically kind of divide you up into two kind of categories. So when you think about these two categories, you've got the people right now that are focused on the here and now, here on earth. And you've got people that are focused right here on actually what's to come and all of that stuff in regards to heaven, etc. Now, the fact of the matter is, and I'll give you a personal example of my own, which is really practical as well for you to understand what I'm talking about, okay? Now, I've been running a business for quite a few years now, and before I started this business, my mindset was really solely focused all the way right here. I was focused on what I could do for God's kingdom and how I could actually impact people and actually make a really big impact in the world based on the things I was supposed to do. As I started this business and started doing other different things and actually got older, my mindset started to shift this way, because there was a period in my business where I was literally focused every single month on how much money I can make. How can I make more than last month? How can I make more than the previous month, etc. And that basically spiraled me out of control, really, in a lot of ways, because my mindset had basically shifted from storing up my treasure in heaven and actually doing a lot of things for God's kingdom. And it took me here, which is basically into the trap of how much money I can make, and basically ultimately just covetousness and the love of money ultimately, which we also know is the root of all evil. Okay, now the fact of the matter is this, I want to say this early as well, this isn't a video for you to watch today and say, oh, because I'm working a job right now, or because I'm doing this activity that isn't 100% in line with God's kingdom, that I have to quit it, etc. Because the fact of the matter is, we've got people in different parts of the world doing different jobs for different reasons, okay? And just because one person is in full-time ministry or another person is part of a kids ministry or helping in all these different ways, it doesn't necessarily mean that because there's someone else that's just working an everyday kind of job, that this person here is more better than that person there, okay? So I'm not just telling you, look, quit your job or shut down your business, all these different kind of things. Now back to the personal example. So after a period in time of me going through this whole mindset of, how can I make more money? That was literally for me looking at all of these different people in different industries that were making money and actually successful. Now, a mistake I made, and you might be able to relate to this, is all of these different people I was looking at, they weren't all necessarily Christians. Some of them may say they were Christians, some of them may be different religions, but the fact of the matter is they weren't me. Okay, so when you look at it from that perspective, I can't be making decisions, and you really can't be making decisions based on just what other people are doing. You've got your own life, you've got your own responsibilities, and because of that, you have to make your own decisions. So as I started literally shifting back to really kind of who I am as a person, I started saying to myself, I'm not going to continue with these businesses if this is the only goal. Why? Because all that business is doing here is storing up treasure on earth that's going to be gone in X amount of years anyway. Okay, so it got to the point where I literally said to myself, you know what, I'm not going to be doing these things that I want to do in order to make more money if it's at the detriment, and if it means that I'm not going to be doing the things that I want to do based on the fact that I know this is what I believe God wants me to do. Okay, and what basically happened in this period in time is there was a huge shift back to what was really on my heart. And I started focusing more on the things that I know God wants me to do, and not necessarily the things that I just want to do in order to make money and whatever to be successful. Now, another thing you need to understand is just because you might have good intentions behind something. So, for example, one of the reasons I wanted to make more money is because I wanted to give my family a better life. Okay, so it's not necessarily that it's just bad intentions. There can be good intentions, but you can get out of control and out of whack. Okay, so I basically for a season just literally stopped focusing on my business until I was literally comfortable doing the things I want to do in regards to God's kingdom. So when you think about it like that, you may have something in your life right now that's really centered this way, but there's things you want to do in life that you know are going to be centered this way. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to give these up. I spoke about this in a video I done recently about my first 3 years in salvation. I'll put a link in the description box below for you to watch it after. But the whole premise basically of that whole thing was there were things I gave up initially, which I ultimately got back in a different variation at some point in the future. So it's not necessarily that you have to give certain things up forever. The fact of the matter is, you really shouldn't be focusing on things here if you're not actually taking care of business and handling business in this category. So yes, I've still got a business today. Yes, there's other things that I still do today. But the fact of the matter is, it's not just a business that just happens to be owned or run or involved with by a Christian person. I'm actually a Christian who's actually running this business, or I'm a Christian who's actually involved in these activities. So let me give you an example, okay? You could look through certain things I was a part of and you wouldn't even know necessarily, okay, that I was a Christian. And that was a problem for me, but at the same time, I kind of said to myself, I can't share this part of my life in this avenue because that's not what it's about. But the fact of the matter is, okay, this is the biggest part of my life. So if it's the biggest part of my life, I don't want to suppress it in anything I'm doing. I want it to be visible, because if I'm suppressing it, I'm ultimately suppressing myself. So I got to a period in time where I said to myself, you know what? I can't continue with all of these different things if it's stopping me from being who I want to be and allowing me to literally spread my wings, so to speak, and actually blossom or flourish, etc., and fly away. So the fact of the matter is, what I basically started doing is I started just being me, okay? Because that is who I am and that's who I want to be. I don't want to suppress anything of who I am. Now, there's clear things on the top level that you can see that, yes, this person's a Christian, but there's even little things interwoven within different things I do now. So you can see, especially if you're a bit more clued up as a Christian, you will know, okay, this is why he's doing these things. So think about some of the things you're doing right now and just be honest with yourself. Are they literally taking up all of your time and literally all of the mental space that you have to think about different things? And if they are, just think about literally putting them on the shelf or slowing them down a little bit and give you the time to focus on the things that you believe God's actually called you to do. And if you don't know what God's actually called you to do, still do this anyway, okay? Because if you start taking away and literally limiting the amount of things you're doing, okay, that's going to open up some time for actually God to start talking to you. And I'm pretty sure if you give God more time, God's going to give you more time. It's just simple, okay? It says it in the book of James, draw nigh to God and he will draw nigh to you. James 4 verse 7, if I remember correctly, or thereabouts. But the fact of the matter is, so the more and more you focus on this stuff and the less and less you focus on this stuff, the better treasure you have for you in store for you in heaven. Now, it doesn't even necessarily mean, again, that you have to fully let go of these things. It really is just about significance and importance, okay? Put these things first and put these things second, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of cases you'll be able to manage the two exactly the same way I'm doing. Now, considering we're talking about treasure in today's video, I think it's fitting that I give away a free physical copy of this book, because the front cover is really kind of synonymous with the whole thing we're talking about in regards to living a life based on worldly stuff or living a life based on spiritual stuff. So if you want to be the one to win this book, there's 3 things you need to do. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with just at least one of your friends. And what I'll basically do is I'll basically pick the winner at some point in the future, maybe in the next couple of weeks, and I'll make it known in the video or in the comment section below. So the topic of today's video is from the book of Matthew. And staying on this theme, I recommend you watch this video right here. It's literally just a couple of sentences to the right in regards to what we covered today, and it'll be great for you to watch in regards to what we just covered. Thanks and take care.